Come stand with me. Thank you so much. It's always good being back in New York City College of Technology. This is my alma mater, so I am biased. Always good. The president couldn't join us today due to a family emergency, but we want to thank the staff for always opening their doors to whatever venture we attempt to do at Borough Hall. You are not good neighbors, you are great neighbors. And I'm excited about across the street. Our new building is rising every day. There's something attractive and alluring about seeing a building rise. You know, people stop in and just try to peek over the fence and see what's coming about. So this is an exciting time for Brooklyn and in this area as the school continues to be the anchor of the growth and the vibrant spirit and energy that Brooklyn is experiencing at this time. So I'm joined by my colleagues in government who is part of this announcement today. Assemblywoman to my left, Assemblywoman Weinstein, to my right, Councilwoman and the Chair of Higher Ed, Councilwoman Barron, and to her right is Councilman Dr. Eugene, and my favorite state senator is walking in the room, Senator Velmanette Montgomery, is here as well. So this is a great day. Anytime you bring a check, large or small, it's a great day. It's a great excitement that we're making. And I want to thank all of my colleagues that are here, because the money that comes out of Borough Hall, we all play a role together. And that's the energy and spirit of One Brooklyn. It's a team effort. And when one elected official is able to allocate your tax dollars back to you, it's because we all come together and fight for the funds to come back into our community. And that's something that I've learned from Senator Montgomery, who was the chair of the Brooklyn delegation in Albany, and she fought for every dollar returning to Brooklyn. And we're hopeful that you will be the chairman again when we take over the majority, and we should see some great funding coming in. This year, I dedicated, and we've dedicated over $3.1 million of my capital budget to fund our schools. The amount represents one out of every $6 out of my capital budget. It spans across more than 10 community boards and will positively impact the lives of hundreds of New Yorkers and Brooklynites and students. My strategic investment includes schools from across the borough, from Metro Tech to Midwood and Bed-Stuy to Bath Beach. We're making sure that no school is left behind. Some of our recent initiatives as Borough President has included promoting physical fitness programs with groups to knock out obesity. I have also begun discussion with my team to improve school safety to prevent suspensions and fights at our neighborhood schools. We also are trying to keep the arts programs in our school. We had a great announcement this morning at the Botanical Garden where a substantial allocation of art funding is being returned to Brooklyn. Manhattan has always just swallowed up all of the cultural funding. We want to change that dynamic. This is a great cultural institutions in Brooklyn, and we want to make sure that they're receiving the necessary support. And so our goal is education, education, education. And our colleges have provided a great input in ensuring that our students receive the quality education to continue to fuel the economy here in Brooklyn. This year's allocation is including an allocation of $400,000 to City College of Technology, $200,000 to St. Francis College, $257,000 to Pratt Institute, $550,000 to Brooklyn Kindergarten Society, $50,000 to Brownsville Collaborative Middle School, $350,000 to James Madison High School, $200,000 to IS 281, another $100,000 to PS 169, $52,000 to PS 249, $150,000 to PS IS 262, and IS 73 is going to receive $100,000. Sheepshead Bay is receiving $225,000, and the Wingate Campus is receiving $300,000. So those are some of the allotments we're having and we're receiving, and many of the allocations that we have come together to contribute is going to go to funding everything from a technological purchase of laptops and smart boards in classrooms to redoing libraries and focusing on how do we move forward in technology. One of the things that I announced at my inauguration, we're excited about, we're going to be announcing it in a few weeks. We're moving towards doing a pilot program of a textbook-free school, where we have 3 schools that are going to be the first pilot program with 3 different grades, where the students are going to be operating off of iPads only, so they will have access to a wider range of reading material, and they will be able to mirror technology with the classroom assignment. We're extremely excited by this. This is a game changer on how our children will interface with technology and be able to use it as a method of increasing their concentration and participation in the classroom. So Brooklyn is where it's at. And we're going to do some great things in the borough of Brooklyn. So I want to turn it over to my colleagues, going to my senior colleague first, Senator Velma Nett Montgomery, and then the chair of higher ed, Inez Barron, Assemblyman Weinstein, and closing us out, Dr. Matthew Jean. Yes. Senator?
Well, first of all, I just want to start by thanking our borough president. This is a very wonderful opportunity for a change to have a very positive announcement of something good for the people of Brooklyn. And certainly, thank you. Absolutely, yes. And it's wonderful when the borough president has been able to move throughout the borough and meet people, and especially those organizations and institutions that offer hopeful progress, especially for young people in this borough. So we thank you for that, and I'm happy to join you, and hopefully we can join hands with a little bit of money in our hands. Those of us from the state, this would be a much happier moment. But certainly, and I just want to recognize in particular President from Pratt, President Schutte, that's my neighbor, my park, my private park that he has decorated so beautifully across the street. And it's wonderful to see those students coming and going every day. And I see that we are off to a very, very wonderful start. So President Schutte, glad you're here. I'm glad Pratt is one of those institutions that Borough President is recognizing along with everybody else. So thanks again, and let's just continue to build on what the foundation that has been laid in our borough for so many years ahead. So, bye-bye.
Good morning. This is a beautiful day that God has graced us with, and a great occasion to come together to celebrate. I want to say thanks to the host, and I also attended here, but it was on a sabbatical, not quite as long a period of time as others may have gone for a degree, but I valued the time that I had here. To the Borough President, we want to thank you to make this a public announcement, which means that he understands the value of education. And yes, I'm the chair of higher education, but for 36 years I served with the Board of Education as a teacher, as assistant principal, and as principal. So I understand that education is from pre-K through grade 20 if we want to continue the grading. And this is certainly an acknowledgement that our Borough President understands that we need to put our dollars where we talk about things that are important. And certainly the City Council now has a greater equity in terms of distribution of funds of capital money. We want to acknowledge that through the Speaker, so that each of us has the opportunity to add even more to what it is that our schools need. I personally think that the Board of Education, and the state as well, needs to be the primary sponsor for putting money into public schools. And we understand that this budget has aimed at putting labs in our middle schools, and we're glad to see that, because previously it was a council member, basically. It was council members who gave the funding for smart boards, for computer labs, for video labs, for sound equipment, and so now we're glad that the Borough President is doing the same thing, doing likewise. So we want to acknowledge that. And as term of textbooks, I invite you all to come to a hearing that we're having on the 30th about textbooks and the exorbitant cost in high school and colleges. So we're on the same wavelength, we see the same needs, and we're joining forces to make sure that we can improve the education that we provide to all of our students throughout New York City. Thank you.
So in 1966, when I was my last year at Bildersley Junior High School, I took a computer science class. And we had a computer that was very avant-garde. I don't know if other schools had it, and it was maybe 3 feet by 2 feet and about this tall, and if you shut it off, it lost its memory. And fast forward, what we could do on that big computer, you could do probably almost in a handheld calculator, forget about, a smartphone. And whenever I'm in the office and I have a technology question, I always look for the youngest person in the room to ask for it. I'm sure that rings true for a lot of people. So, we recognize both from our own experience, but also just how the world has changed, how important technology is in order to survive just life, in order to have a good paying job, in order to function in our society. So I really want to commend Borough President Adams for the forward thinking of dedicating so much money, of capital money, to improve the technology, the libraries, the media centers, in particular in the high schools in my district, but throughout the borough, because in order to have students who we can rely upon to have good paying jobs and to be part of our society, we need to make sure they have the wherewithal and the technological ability to succeed. And while it should be the ordinary course of government to make sure that all these schools are updated, as Inez was saying, those of us in Brooklyn have always, whether it's been in the Assembly, the Council, and the Borough President, have always taken this special interest in the students in Brooklyn and have made an effort when we've had discretionary funds or ability to direct funds to make sure that money, a big chunk of it, goes to education. I'm very happy that Borough President Adams is continuing this tradition, and I'm very proud to be here today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Councilmember Matthew Eugene, representing District 40 in Brooklyn, and I'm delighted to join my colleagues from the government for the announcement of capital funding for the school. And let me take the opportunity also to commend and thank the Borough President for his dedication and for his commitment to the education of our children. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. And I say from the bottom of my heart, honestly, because as a former teacher in my country before I came to the United States and before I went to medical school, I know that education is the tool to open all the doors to all success, not only for the children, but also for adults. And I know as a member of the New York City Council, we have the obligation, we from the government, to provide to the young people the best education possible. This is our obligation. And as the chairman of the youth committee and the city council, we say all the time that the children, the youth, they are the future of this nation. And as the chairperson of the City Council Committee on Youth Services, I believe that the best investment that we can do as a society is the investment in the education of our children. Because when the children are armed with a strong education that will give them dedication and confidence, there's nothing in life they cannot achieve. Let me tell you one thing. I don't want to talk about myself. When I was in Haiti, if somebody said to my mother or my father, your son will be or would be a member of the great city council in New York City, my mother or my father would say, no way, no way. But now I stand before you today, not because I want to talk about myself. I stand before you today as the first Haitian American to be elected to the New York City Council. All that is by the grace of God, but also it is because of education. Because of education. And I'm going to say something also, something nobody, believed that they were going to see. For the first time in the history of the United States of America, we have a black president of the United States of America. Also because of education. What I'm saying, I'm so pleased to be partner of this initiative. And I want to continue to partner with my colleagues because the children, what they need to see, they need to see people who care about them, people who want them to be successful. And in order to provide the best education to the children, we have to provide the school also with the resources that they need, the funding that they need, the infrastructure that they need. And I'm so pleased also to see that they are representative of two schools in my district, Wingate High School and PS 249, and we're going to benefit from that too, Borough President. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you. So we want to get a photo with all of the small checks, but it would be fitting to hear from the school. The president is not here, as I stated. We want the vice president to come up and say a few words. Okay, he's coming up now. And also we want to acknowledge Robert Paris from Community Board 2 and Viola Green from Community Board 16 is here.
Good afternoon. Borough President Adams, distinguished members of our city and state government, friends. On behalf of President Hotzler, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the New York City College of Technology, better known as City Tech. We're honored today to host Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams as he announces his education capital funding for fiscal year 2015. And we're very grateful also because we received a contribution of $400,000 in keeping with the Borough President's efforts to increase technology. This money will be used to develop a lab, a fabrication lab, in which our students will be also, by the way, another initiative of the Borough President, sustainability. This lab will help this generation of students and future generations to develop sustainability initiatives for construction. Okay, so again, thank you for being here. Thank you, Borough President. It's a pleasure to see you again.
Thank you.
And we appreciate your contribution to education in general.
Thank you. Thank you. I think we want to get everyone up with the checks. So we're going to get a nice photo up. Everyone come up, all the schools and others.